The gym. My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, fly fishing guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller. In a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
I may be retired, but I still have finances to manage. With direct deposit and automatic payments, ICCU makes it easy to spend less time banking and more time baking.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? A happy Monday to you. Happy LA Bowl week here at Bronco Nation News Live. We got a great show, a great week. It's going to be a lot of fun here at Bronco Nation News, and we're kicking it off with our man Mike Prater. You can hear him weekdays 3 to 6, 95.3 FM, 1350 AM, the KTIK app, KTIK.com. And Mike, I'm back home. That means no internet issues today. We're going to be good. We're going to have fun. How you doing, sir?
It's great for a Monday. You know, usually when it's Monday in December, it's rainy and drizzly and cold outside. You can't, it's hard to get out of bed. It's hard to get to work on a Monday morning, but you said it. It's bowl weekend. I'm pretty fired up. I can't believe we're down to the last 6 days of a college football season here in Boise, Idaho, but it's going to be a pretty spectacular 6 days.
And I don't know where to start. We got so much to get to today. I got a really cool announcement we're going to make that Mike Prater doesn't even know about bowl coverage this week. We've got Leon Rice coming on about 9:30 to talk Boise State basketball. They got a big toy drive and initiative going on tomorrow night that they wanted to help promote a little bit ahead of the game against Northwestern State. And we got obviously bowl week, the quarterback situation and all that. But I did want to start actually with Andy Avalos, Mike Prater. I don't know if you've seen the news or not, but there's some news with him. I guess this is why, but last night, kudos to Jay Tust. Not surprised based on his dad's comment that BNN wasn't the first call for Andy Avalos to release his statement. But Andy Avalos did release a statement through Jay Tust, KTVB last night. This is Jay's graphic, but my family and I are very grateful for all who have reached out to us for their love and support in respect to the team and focus required to finish strong. We decided to wait on releasing a statement. So thankful for the opportunities we have had at Boise State, the relationships built, and the chance to be a part of something special. To the players, I am grateful for each and every one of you and blessed to have you in my life. Love you guys. I'm incredibly proud of how the team finished. Great job by the coaches for being resilient and bringing home the championship. Much love and respect. And it continues to all of Bronco Nation, the donors who supported us with more than just resources, the alumni who came and know what we worked to establish. We came to Boise State to win championships and to do it with the right values and the integrity. We are proud of what we have accomplished. We are forever thankful for each of you. We wish Boise State football all the best in the future. Andy Avalos. And again, this was released exclusively to Jay Tusk, KTVB. I know it's circulating out there elsewhere, but Jay deserves the credit for getting this from Andy. And ironic, I guess, or newsworthy because we find out from Football Scoop and a couple of reports today that he's being targeted now by TCU as a potential defensive coordinator. So his fallback after being fired as the Boise State head coach could be a Big 12 defensive coordinator job. And I just chuckled a little bit seeing that because, Eric McAllister also might be going to TCU. So Andy and Eric reuniting at TCU, that could be fun. But your thoughts on Andy getting back in the game, it looks like potentially at TCU and the statement, Mike?
Yeah, I didn't know about the Andy Avalos thing until about an hour, maybe 90 minutes ago. And when I first saw that this morning, it put a big old fat smile on my face, and probably part of the reason why you have that big extra step on your on this Monday morning. And what a classy dude. Andy Avalos has always been a very classy dude. Yeah, he didn't get the job done at Boise State, but, this doesn't surprise me. This certainly doesn't surprise me in terms of his rebound. I think right here on this show, either last Monday or maybe the Monday before, we talked about his future. And I said he would be a Power 5 defensive coordinator somewhere. This dude's not going to stick around and take Boise State's money and do nothing. He's a pretty proud guy. I think he is a pretty good football coach, and I'm glad to see him rebounding there. So, I know it got ugly here, and the fandom, there's a special place in college football hell for certain people that really just made it personal with Andy Avalos. It never should have been personal with Andy Avalos. Great man, great dude, a beloved brother, former Boise State, family member, still always going to be a Boise State family member. So good for him. Classy words to say, and kudos to Jay Tuss for getting that out there during bowl week.
Boise says possibly EMAC and Avalos both at TCU. Awkward. A reunite would be wild. EMAC and Avalos. that is just hilarious and crazy to think of. You also had Talon Green visiting Arkansas over the weekend, so a lot of news regarding former Boise State football players. But this is Bowl Week, and we got a lot to discuss in terms of what's going to happen here with the quarterback situation. The Ashton Jeanty is obviously returning for the next year, so I assume he's going to get a lot of the action. But we'll dive specifically into the quarterbacks, and I've got some video to play while we talk, Mike, about the quarterbacks here in a second. But just big picture.
And don't forget, Hank Bachmeier to Wake Forest over the weekend, which is really kind of crazy about the big picture. You could potentially have Talon Green in the SEC. You could have Hank Bachmeier over in the ACC, and all of a sudden Boise State's going to a bowl game to start a true freshman or a walk-on quarterback. It's college football is a weird place, BJ. Sorry to interrupt, but just let's throw Hank Bachmeier out there as well.
Yeah, good for it. And he kind of fell up. I mean, he was hurt, didn't have the greatest year at La Tech. A lot of people wondered if he'd go higher than La Tech to begin with, and then he got hurt and didn't have a super great year there, just by his standards probably. And then next thing you know, he trades up and he's going to Wake Forest for his last year. So good for him there. And I'm curious to see that. But yeah, you got SEC maybe with Talon and ACC, and then Big 12 with Eric McAllister as well. And now Andy Avalos. I mean, this is crazy here. But Boise State, has done a really good job to this point, Mike, of not losing guys in the portal after the season ended. You mentioned Green, you mentioned McAllister during the season. There was a EJ McCaddy and a Kayvon Wright, Cheese Wright. But those are the only 4 that they've lost, this season, and really only 2, but they've lost 0 since the actual coaching change and Spencer Danielson was named the head coach. Maybe there'll probably be a couple after the bowl game. I know, but they've probably already, if they were going to have the mass exodus, it would have already happened, I would assume, because a lot of these guys, it's more advantageous for you, even though it stinks missing the bowl game, to go ahead and get your name out there and start getting spots before other schools take it. And that's one of the reasons that Talon Green couldn't wait for the bowl game, is Arkansas is going to go to somebody else if he doesn't do it now. So you'll have a couple of guys, but I would assume, Mike, you'd agree that we're not going to have the mass exodus after the bowl game, if that would have already happened.
Yeah, I think so. And that's exactly why, that's one of the main reasons why Jeremiah Dickey hired Spencer Danielson. First of all, he thought he deserved the job, but the number one priority in getting this job was roster retention, and it absolutely worked. So if Jeremiah Dickey would have made another decision, we would have spent the last week to 10 days tracking the transfer portal. I think that could have had a half dozen, maybe even pushing double digits, but that was a main hire. And that was the main reason for that. Yeah, you're right. After the bowl game, I know you know the date. I think the window closes sometime in the next week to 10 days. So we may see 1 or 2 players after the bowl game, but you're right. The mass exodus, it ain't going to happen. So nicely done, Boise State. You took care of a serious crisis that could have been looming out there for your football team.
Yeah, the 16th, Friday, I believe, is the when the dead period starts. No more visits and things. The last weekend you could take visits was this last weekend, I believe. And Boise State did have some official visitors. We know the quarterback commit, Caleb, his last name's escaping me. Annette. He was visiting this weekend. We know, and he was on his official visit. There were some other players on official visits as well. But they cannot take visits this last weekend. I don't think they can. So that's why Talon Green was out trying to get to all these schools this week before Friday, when the dead period, quote unquote, starts. I do know that Boise State was off, had some walkthroughs yesterday, but they're actually off practice today. So I believe the coaches were hurrying out for one more day of recruiting today to try to see some final guys, and then they'll have practice tomorrow morning and then fly to LA tomorrow to kick off bowl week. And we will have a cool announcement coming up here in a little bit. I want to let the viewership grow just a little bit before we announce our cool news. Not huge news, but I think it's cool in the ever-growing NIL world. Something we got cooking for the bowl game this week. So we'll tell you that here in a little bit. But before we dive into the quarterback situation, Mike, just big picture. Monday morning, bowl week, LA Bowl, UCLA on Saturday. We talked to some players over the weekend. Just kind of where are you with the football team and bowl week, big picture wise right now?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this week in terms of how this team gets together. I mean, obviously it's a tight group of players right now, and I anticipate the motivation factor is always the big thing when it comes to bowl week. It's so hard to bet. It's so hard to figure out, are you motivated or are you not? I think Boise State's going to be highly motivated to win this football game. I think Boise State will win this football game. UCLA might have a couple of players here and there that might be better than Boise State's roster, but they've got some holes. They've got some transfer portal issues. They've lost coaches. They've lost players. And I can't imagine anything coming out of UCLA football is going to be motivated. So I expect this to be a really happy, healthy week for Boise State football. This is the second most important thing Jeremiah did when he hired Spencer Danielson is just keeping that momentum going. He wants to do the CFP run in 2024. That doesn't mean getting in the tournament and winning football games. That just means getting into the tournament, taking a run at a CFP invite. And a bowl game would be very massive for the momentum in terms of the offseason and give this football team a lot of heads up moving into that era. So I think this is going to be a good week. I think Boise State's going to handle it very well, and I'm excited to see what they do this wett
I do want to give a quick plug. Tonight, 8 o'clock, subscriber-only show. Looking forward to this. If only we had a fifth mic for Mike Prater. We got Brad Bedell, Kent Riddle, and Winston Venables back. He was coaching high school football this year, so we didn't have time to kind of do a full show again, but we're able to mix in Winston, and he's going to meet us tonight. We'll be in person. I got a new sound mixer mic. I think we've had all the complaints of recent live broadcasts about once you get 3 and 4 mics together, the quality was coming down a little bit. I think I've fixed that with the microphone issue, so looking forward to getting all these guys together tonight to talk coaches, to talk transfers, to talk the quarterbacks, to preview the game. There's a ton going on in Boise State football, and 3 guys that literally have coached, in that locker room with a lot of these players within the last couple of years. Looking forward, Winston Venable is tied very closely to Ashton Genty, was very big in his recruitment and getting him to come to Boise State. Still talks to him and knows him very well. So we're going to get some Ashton Genty insight from Winston Venable, but looking forward to it tonight, 8 o'clock. Again, you have to be a paying subscriber of BNN. So jump in now. If you're not a paying subscriber, $50 gets you a full year at Bronco Nation News. Use the promo code BNN50 deal. I'll put it up at the bottom of the screen, but BNN50 deal gets you a full year subscription for $50. You can read Mike Prater's 2 columns that he has coming later this week. You can read my stuff as well. And again, around noon today, you're going to get an email from Bronco Nation News with the exclusive link. If you're a paying subscriber, you should have an email around noon with the link to watch this show tonight. If it's like 1 or 2 o'clock and you don't have the link yet, send me an email and I'll make sure you get it. It will be available on archive after the show if you can't watch it live. So looking forward to it. And again, this is for paying subscribers only. So hopefully you guys will jump in with a subscription. We want to make it worth it to you. We'd love to have you. And that's coming up tonight at 8 o'clock. Check your email around noon for your email. All right, Mike Prater, we were out at practice on Friday. Right before I joined you guys on Idaho Sports Talk, we were talking quarterbacks. We had this mystery quarterback number 8 showing up, who we have since identified, but found out that he's just a walk-on trying out to be kind of a camp arm, is not gonna go to the bowl game. So you essentially have the quarterbacks we've thought of going into this game. Talon Green is now gone. You have Colt Fulton. You have CJ Tiller. While we're talking, I'll just play some of the scenes of Friday's practice, and folks can kind of just how it is, dissecting every throw, Mike, and the order, and to see who the guy is going to be. What's just your big picture take at this point on the quarterback situation?
Well, first of all, let's take a step back and go back to last week when we had Bush Hamden right here on Idaho Sports Talk, and we asked him specifically how he was going to handle the quarterback situation. And he said, we're going to go with one, and we're going to decide with one. Now, there may have been some confusion with the question in terms of the starter or who's going to play, but I thought we specifically asked, are you planning on using 2 quarterbacks in the bowl game? And he said, nope, we're going to use 1. A couple of days later, here comes Spencer Danielson in the media scrum and said, no, I think it was the exclusive interview he had with you.
There was no scrum. That was a BNN exclusive there, Mike. Come on.
You're right. It was when he was introduced at the basketball game, you were able to get him for 5 minutes, and it was with you, where he said, no, we're going to play 2 quarterbacks here. So let's hope that the coaching staff, first and foremost, gets on the same page in terms of what they're going to do. I'd be shocked if we didn't see both. But I'd be shocked if CJ Tiller didn't start too. CJ Tiller probably should be starting here. He's your scholarship guy. I want to know exactly what you have in a scholarship guy. Colt Fulton, maybe a backup, maybe give him some snaps or reps. I don't even want to do that. I'm tired of 2 quarterbacks.
Wow.
I want to see CJ Fuller. And if you're playing a walk-on just because he deserves it, because he earned it, then that's fine. I guess that's part of the bowl game prep. And Colt Fulton's done a couple of nice things for Boise State football this year. But to me, this is big boy football. This is all about building for 2024. And I want to know what I have with CJ Tiller. Boise State's quarterback situation is very perilous right now. Very perilous. So I don't know if they're going to go into the transfer portal. I don't know if they're going to have comfortable with what they have in terms of Maddox Madsen, CJ Tiller. Who knows what kind of competition there's going to be in the fall. I want to see a serious dose of CJ Tiller at SoFi Stadium on Saturday.
I may need to find a way to be sitting with you on Saturday then, because I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm very intrigued. Maybe we'll find out tomorrow. I believe before practice, we're supposed to get a little scrum out on the blue with Spencer Danielson before they practice and then fly out. And you can put 2 and 2 together with the order of the stuff here, and you can see CJ Tiller was going first in a lot of these drills, which indicates he's higher on the depth chart, you would think. But again, this was the very first practice they had back out there, in terms of the first practice without Taylon Green, and so they could have maybe every other practice or every other drill they switched the order, and we didn't see that. I mean, I don't know, but I've been led to believe that this is 50-50 at worst, and maybe Colt Fulton, it would be the guy if you had to put serious money down, might be the guy to start this game, Mike Prater. We'll see what happens, but every time you ask players, and there were 3 or 4 players over the weekend, you ask them about each quarterback. With Colt Fulton, they talk about his knowledge of the offense. He's been here 3 years. He knows what he's doing. He can run this thing. He puts in all the extra time and work and is a smart guy and has waited his time. When you ask about CJ Tiller, literally the first thing almost every single quarterback or every single player says is, well, he's young, but he's coming along. And they really bring and I don't think it's any kind of like disrespectful, whatever. They just bring up the fact that he is a true freshman and he's young, and you just get the sense that the knowledge of the offense, some of the off the field things, he might just not quite be up to par with some of these other quarterbacks in terms of that. And I agree with you. I think the ceiling long-term with CJ Tiller is probably higher. He's a scholarship quarterback. He's a 3-star guy, but go look at a lot of the recruiting stories written about Colt Fulton. I mean, he was a 3-star guy as well. It just couldn't get any Division I offers when it coming during COVID. He had some FCS offers. This is not like he's number 8 here, just trying to walk onto the team and see if he can play it. He was a recruited walk-on. He had some, FCS offers, had some interest from some other schools before he committed to Boise State as a preferred walk-on. But my understanding is that he is, was in there every time Taylon Green was in the film room. He was right there next to him, and he knows this offense as good as Bush Hamden. And Bush Hamden has said on his own in several press conferences, Mike, that you've been at, hey, Colt Fulton, he deserves some credit for this. He's almost like a second coach in the room. So I agree with you in terms of long term. You would like to just throw CJ Tiller out there and see what you have and kind of have an idea going into next year. But if the main objective is winning this game, I think I'm just reading between the lines. No one has told me this is happening. I'm usually wrong. I'll probably be dead wrong again. But I would have to lean, if I'm just guessing, I would have to lean at this point, Colt Fulton. I'm just reading between the lines, but I think Colt Fulton gives them in this game on Saturday the best chance to win, and I wouldn't shock me if that's what they decide to do.
Well, I like my opinion. I'm going to stick with my opinion, and I think my opinion is right. How's that for a Monday morning jab? But you know what? There's so much quarterback, I was going to say misinformation, but that's not the right word, just lack of information. So behind the scenes, I don't know, other than, you're right, coaches always say Taylon Green's right-hand man has been Colt Fulton, been with him the entire time. If behind the scenes, coaches really, really think that Colt Fulton gives them the best chance to win for 3.5 hours on one Saturday afternoon, then I'll trust them on that, because we don't see Colt Fulton behind the scenes. I don't see CJ Tiller behind the scenes. These practice drills, that's the extent of it, guys. That's 22 minutes of practice before they kick us out, and they're just going through individual drills. So not a lot of team periods during that time. So I would trust them in that particular case. I would just find that to be very odd. CJ Tiller's been with the program now for almost a year, and if he should know this offense, does he know it as well as Colt Fulton? He should know it as well. You can catch up to speed. Now, does he have the kind of practice reps that maybe Colt Fulton had alongside Taylon Green? I don't know. That's the back scene that I really don't know that information. But I think I want to see CJ Tiller. If CJ Tiller doesn't even play in this game, that tells me something about the future, because I need to know what this cat's all about going into 2024.
Bill says you're going with your head, your heart, and your gut.
That's a bad combination for me. Maybe that probably works for Jeremiah Dickey, but my head and my heart and my gut are all warped. So that's a bad combination for me. But we'll take that.
This is all we need, Mike Prater, right? Who can hand the ball off? Which quarterback can hand the ball off? You see the clips right here. The quarterbacks are handing the ball off in some drills. It's the final clip I put in here, but that's really all that's going to matter for the most part on Saturday, right?
30 carries for Ashton Jeanty and 29 carries for George Alani, 59 total carries for Boise State running backs in this football game. I don't know how much you want to workhorse Ashton Jeanty, but I think George Alani just might be abused on Saturday, and that might be kind of fun to watch, actually.
Yeah, I mean, what's the over-under on pass attempts for Boise State? Is it 10? Is that too high still, or 8.5, 10 passing attempts? I mean, what would be a fair over-under in Vegas, you think, for passing attempts for Boise State on Saturday?
Yeah, it's 12-14. I mean, they've been managing Taylor Green the last couple of weeks. I think
he was,
he's been
I believe, in the championship game.
Yeah, they're not getting to 20. So even when they get this thing cranked up, they're not going 20. So maybe 15, less than 15. I suppose if that might be advantage Colt Fulton again if we're just handing the ball off and making this the George Alani and Ashton Genty show, which would be really fun to watch. That would be a really cool deal. Though the weekend looks like over the weekend we learned that George Alani is not going to be able to come back. We were all confused by that. He seemed like he was the most confused. So, this whole Ashton Genty, George Alani dream backfield, we get one last chance to watch it. Let's make them the stars. Now, let's not worry about the quarterbacks this weekend.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Helani and some of the other news from the weekend and just some other thoughts here because we have about 7 minutes till Coach Rice joins us at 9:30 here to talk a little Boise State basketball. I actually want to talk a little football with Coach Rice too. He's a big football guy. Well, I get his thoughts on the matchup and what his relationship with Spencer and his thoughts there, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But yeah, you're right. It's going to be interesting and what we get message-wise out of the coaches as well. Do they play this thing out or do they give us a starter early in the week, or do they have a starter decided? Is this actually a competition going into the week? I think there's still a lot of things to be determined because you're 100% right. Bush Hamden said with you guys, I don't know if it was before or after he took a shot at me, and then Spencer said, no, we're going to, both guys will play. So we'll see. They hadn't probably really, and in fairness, they hadn't had a practice yet. They might have even had a meeting about it. Hadn't really talked about it. So we'll see. But I want to talk about a couple other things. And we do have a cool announcement to make for Bronco Nation News and our Bull Week coverage. We'll do that in 90 seconds here. Don't go anywhere. Back in 90 seconds with Leon Rice, more football talk, and a cool announcement regarding the Bull here on Bronco Nation News. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Bauscher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BauscherRealEstate.com. By the way, shout out Cutwater Spirits, Mike Prater. I have the largest can of White Russian in history here. They gave me a, I don't know if you can see it, Mike Prater, on my backdrop here, but they gave me like a 4-foot size White Russian here from Cutwater. So we're working on redecorating the studio here. I don't know what the rules are for Mike Prater in the studio there, but I could see some room for something like this on the wall in the studio there. But we appreciate Cutwater Spirits, and we're actually looking to get another show there at some point. I think Mike Prater would be a perfect co-host for some tequila tasting, maybe some of their beverages on air, and have a fun show. Maybe we have to move that to the evening or something. I don't know what the rules are there, but they want to get us back out there. Johnny was out there. They gave Johnny a really nice flannel shirt, so we got to see what they can hook you up with if we can get out there again. We appreciate Cutwater Spirits, our studio sponsor. Make sure, again, check them out. Cutwater Studios, our sponsor here at Bronco Nation. All right, Mike Prater, the new NIL era, the new wave of being able to do some things. We've got a company, Element Fencing, a locally owned fencing company. They have stepped up. I'm going to tell you more about them in a minute, but more than 15 years, they've been working in Boise area in terms of building custom fences, decks, pergolas, anything that you need, mostly made out of wood, but they have a lot of different things they can use. But it's an awesome locally owned fencing company. Brady, the owner there, been working, just got to know him a little bit the last week or two, putting this together, and it's been a lot of fun. But we'll discuss this on the back end. But without further ado, here's our cool announcement.
What's up, guys? This is Riley Smith with Boise State Football, and thanks to Element Fencing, a locally owned fencing company, I get the opportunity to be a correspondent for Bronco Nation News at this week's bowl game. It's going to be an awesome time. I got to do some interviews with some players, show you guys the behind the scenes of all the fun we get to do. And it'll be my last game, so you're going to see all the ups and downs and go along for the ride. Thank you again. Go check out elementfencing.com, and appreciate you guys.
All right, Mike Prater. So we are legally allowed to put some cash in Riley Smith's pocket on the way out. We can hire him for Bowl Week, and Riley Smith will be providing some behind-the-scenes content starting tomorrow. Footage when they go to Topgolf, Universal Studios, a tour of the hospitality suite there at the hotel, some behind-the-scenes footage, and then he's also going to hook us up with he'll be interviewing some teammates and some coaches and having some fun. So Element Fencing is paying him for this, so we appreciate them. There's no monetary benefit for BNN, but we were able to get some cash from Element Fencing to Riley Smith, and he gets to have some fun down at Bowl Week on his way out, and some unique content coming for BNN. So kind of a win-win-win all around.
That's very cool, man. We love Riley Smith around here. He's a cool dude, and that's perfect for that. And what a cool swan song for that guy, and his whole career at Boise State. Statistically, never was off the charts in terms of what he does, but what he means to this locker room, what he means to the culture at Boise State, and just the dude having fun playing college football. This will be a cool week for him. That'll be cool. Nicely done, PJ. Nicely done.
And Riley, his one concern was he didn't want to be a distraction to the teammates and things. So we've talked through it, and we're going to make sure it's at times where they wouldn't be doing anything else. And it's not like he's going to be doing an interview for us instead of watching film or something. There'll be plenty of time for football, but they do have some fun down here at the bowl games. And again, we'll start it with tomorrow with some footage once they arrive. We'll have it every day all week through Saturday. And again, thank you, Element Fencing, family-owned local fence company, specializes in residential and commercial cedar fence, decks, outdoor rooms, sheds, pergolas, decks, all that kind of cool stuff. So Element Fencing have been building fences and decks in Boise for more than 15 years. They treat each job as if it was their own. And the warranty they have also, they warranty everything. So take great pride in the relationships with the customers, and we're appreciative of them. They reached out to me. Their owner, Brady, again, kind of reached out on his own and said, how do we make this happen? And so we'll be doing that again coming up starting tomorrow with Riley Smith at Bronco Nation News, thanks to Element Fencing. Okay, we heard the news. George Solani, I guess there was a lot of confusion back and forth. Did he have a COVID year? Did he not? And I guess it comes down to in 2020, you cannot use that as a medical red shirt and a COVID year. You essentially had to pick one or the other for that. It's essentially the COVID year. If George Solani had gotten hurt in any other season and played less than 4 games, Mike, he would have been okay with another season. But because it happened during 2020, you can't use that as a COVID year. A COVID year essentially means the year didn't happen. You just skip it, and whatever year you were the year before, you were after, and it wasn't possible that way. So tough news for George Solani. No eligibility left.
Yeah, and I think, I'm glad this is cleared up because, a month ago he told us, so maybe it was even 4 or 5 or 6 weeks ago, he told us that he had another year, and then he confirmed that again just about 10 days ago. And every time he would say that, we'd come back here in Cubicleville and ball game, and I would sit around and try to do the math. I think we had some conversations with you and just didn't understand why and how he could have had a COVID year back or had another year of eligibility. So, technically, I guess this could have been his super senior year. He's done after Saturday. That's too bad, but we got it cleared up. We know this is his last game. There can be some closure. There can be some finality to a great Bronco, an all-time great Bronco. George Solani is an all-time great Bronco, top 5 in rushing, and just an ambassador for what he's done. Can you imagine if that dude would have stayed healthy? If he'd have stayed healthy, he probably would have left earlier and gone to the NFL. He's probably going to try to dabble in the NFL. I don't know what he's told you guys, but I don't see that happening. This is the end of George Solani's high-profile football career, if you ask me, and what a way to go out. What a great Bronco, and I'm glad we got some closure going into this weekend, BJ.
All right, we got to take our last 90-second timeout. I think Coach Rice is dialing in, so we're going to get right to Coach Rice in 90 seconds here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State Athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at TacoBellWorks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State Athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. All right, Mike Prater, we nice enough to join us here for a couple of minutes, if I can get the right graphic set up here, I believe. But we're going to bring in the head coach of the men's basketball team, 3-game winning streak. We'll bring in Coach Rice, and there he is. Let's put him in the middle there. He can be in the middle, and we'll be here on the sides. How we doing, Leon Rice?
What's up, fellas? How we doing today?
We're doing great. We appreciate you for coming on. I originally told Nate that Johnny was on with me today. Once I remembered it was Prater, I did have to double check that you were cool with that. But we appreciate you for coming on today.
It was bait and switch. You guys, a classic bait and switch right there. That's it.
We just wanted you to come on. We just wanted you to come on and have a football conversation. You know I'm a football guy, so when does the basketball season start, by the way, Leon?
No doubt. And I will take exception to one thing that you said. We don't know. George Halani's, like you said, he's one of the greats. He's a worker and he's a tough kid. He'll find his way onto a roster someday. Don't be surprised. And I'll give you the I told you so.
That's fair. That's fair. I would be a little bit surprised, but I hope it's a happy surprise, because who doesn't love George Halani? Put him on your basketball team, for crying out loud. Everybody loves George Halani.
No doubt. He's probably got eligibility there. I'd take him. No doubt. He's a winner. And winners find a way. And that's what so I know it's really, really hard to make it. It's really hard. But that kid's a winner. And good things happen when he's on the field. So happy for him.
Leon, what is your relationship like with Spencer Danielson and the football staff? And I know you guys are big football guys. I mean, even down there in Orlando, there's big games going on, and we're checking scores and stuff in between practices and meetings and all that. I mean, what you guys are big football fans. What's your take on what Spencer's done the last couple of weeks and winning a Mountain West championship?
Well, so impressive. So many things to navigate. And, the Mike Burns actually went through a similar situation at Pacific. He had to come in and be interim guy and did some great things. And so Mike reached out to him right away, and they had some good talks, and, hopefully that helped him in some ways, but it was so impressive what he did and how he handled it. Tough situation. And you couldn't have a better outcome. It's never happened in the history of football, right? I saw something like that. So that's pretty amazing. But, we've always seen his great energy, his enthusiasm, love for the game, and obviously he's a good ball coach. So those things matter. And, I think it's a pretty neat deal that he earned his way into this job.
Is that why the game is Sunday at 2:00? So folks can go to the game Saturday night and then get back in time for your game on Sunday?
I think we got a little lucky there, because, you're scheduling because of finals too, and availability of the arena, those kind of things. But I'm really, really glad it's on Sunday and not Saturday now.
Well, you got a couple games coming up where you guys are going to have the Holiday Bash going on. We want to talk about your team, Coach, but do want to give you a chance to promote the Holiday Bash. $5 tickets. Folks bring an unwrapped toy coming up against Northwestern State tomorrow and Cal State Fullerton on Sunday. So you guys have some giveaways going on as well. There's going to be 12 giveaway items. They can scan their QR code on the video board when they get in there. You're giving away gear, jerseys, AirPods, gift cards, club seats, game day experience for the Utah Valley game. So you're giving away a lot of cool stuff. You're hoping folks bring in some unwrapped toys, hopefully get a big crowd and help a good cause the next couple of games.
You hit it on the head. That's all perfect. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And, it was we did it last year with the toy drive, and I got to, me and some of the players got to go hand them out and do that. And it was really, really neat. And last year we kind of put it together late. I told the story about my buddy who's a toy maker, and I'm like, okay, we got to put him to good use in our community because he loves to give back. And he was the founder of Funko, one of the coolest toy companies in the world, and so he stepped up and helped us, and it was just a really neat experience to be able to give back. And I think we made some differences in some people's Christmas. That was pretty special.
Yeah, so folks can not only bring the toy, but you and the players will take it to the Ronald McDonald House, take it to some of these places around town, and actually deliver them at Christmas. That's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I actually put on a Santa suit, or somewhat of one, but but our guys got to see the looks on the faces, and it was really powerful. And so we want to be able to do some stuff like that again this year. But we couldn't do it with this community, and we got a lot of great toys. It was really neat.
Mike, I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this on air, Leon, but the Funko toy maker that he's talking about, Mike, they have something in common. Leon Rice got fired from a car wash that he was telling us a story about because they weren't good enough car wash workers, and now one's a millionaire toy maker and one's doing okay as a basketball coach, and we all wonder what's going on with the owner of the car dealer there that you could both probably buy now, Leon.
That's funny. That's a huge compliment from you guys. I wish Prater would have said it. Doing okay as a basketball coach, as you might as well said. And one of them doesn't suck as a basketball coach.
For the record, even way back into my slow growth days, Coach Rice, I never questioned your job status. The F word has never come up with Leon Rice.
I appreciate that. That's good. Hey, I don't believe me. I operate that way every day. I'm on a 1-day contract. How can I earn it today? And no, that's how you got to approach it this day and age, because things change so fast, and you just gotta fight that way every single day when you're a coach, and to be a good coach and to run a good program. That's the way it is. You think you get your culture right, you win a big game, you climb a big mountain. Well, you don't get a run in an empty field in slow motion. You got another mountain to climb, and that's the way our guys, we talk about that with our guys, and that's, we won the St. Mary's game. Well, guess what? Then we had North Texas. I mean, that's the way it is in league, and that's what you got to be able to do is respond and recover and fight like mad the next day.
Well, Coach, tomorrow night, if folks come and bring that unwrapped toy, get that $5 ticket, they're going to see a team that's won 3 games in a row, coming off a really nice performance in a lot of ways the other day against Western Oregon. What's the general state of the union, I guess, with your team right now? 3-game winning streak, as I said. You've had the gauntlet of a schedule. Now you're in kind of with finals week and some other stuff going on here, playing some games. You're looking to improve some things and get better for when conference play starts here. Just what's your big picture, 30,000-foot overview right now of where you guys are at?
Well, I think I felt like we could get about 40% better about a week ago or so. And I think we got a little better. I think we got about 5-10% better because, that showed up in the assists and the whole thing kind of clicking a little bit more. I know the opponent has something to do with that a lot of times, but there's things that I look at and I'm like, I don't care who we're playing. If we're not getting assists and if we're not making each other better, you're not very good. And it was nice to play that game that we did. Like Max said, it's the first time he hasn't been face guarded in about, 5 weeks. And so just to kind of get his rhythm, to get our offensive rhythm, that was really, really good. So I think we made some steps. Omar, made some big steps. He was aggressive. He was physical. His technique was better at a lot of things, so he wasn't in foul trouble the whole time. And that was a positive step. So we made some progress. I still think this team can get 30 to 35% better, whatever that, that's a abstract number. I don't know if it means anything, but I just feel there's a ton of room for growth with this team, and that, not every team can say that.
Coach Rice, one of the things I love about your roster and what you've done in the offseason is build that depth and give me lots of variety and lots of different options on game night. You don't need Max Rice to be a rock star every single game, but it was nice to see him explode the other day. His mental game better than anybody. How big was that in terms of confidence, and how much do you need that kind of Max Rice going down the stretch here?
Yeah, but I think the thing that the guys need to understand is they made that happen. He's pretty consistent on who he is night in, night out. Yeah, they shooters go through makes, misses, ball rattles in, rattles out. That happens. But those numbers in the end, like I always say, they're going to be where they're going to be. Now, when guys get him open shots, he does his job. When guys get Booza open shot, they do their job. When Tyson gets easy looks, he makes them. When Omar and Cam get the ball in the right spots, good things happen. So that it's all really, really connected that way. We're not a bunch of guys that can just, it's not Carmelo Anthony out there on our team that can just go get their own, being the best one-on-one players in the world. That's not us, and that's not good basketball. We're starting to understand that when we make each other better and there's some synergy to it, we can be a pretty good team.
Again, don't forget Tuesday, tomorrow night, Northwestern State, 2 for Tuesday, 2 tickets for $10 in the balcony. It's a $5 ticket if you bring a ticket for the toy drive. They have the kids club game as well. And then some student ID gets you a free ticket in the student section. If you're a student, you can bring a friend for free, I think, as well. And these next 2 games here, Liana, we joke about the computer numbers and all this stuff mattering and should it matter and all this kind of stuff. But just you're working on yourselves. I know you're focused on continuing this improvement and things you're attacking in this game. We want to work on this and this, but how do you kind of approach these next 2 games here? You have a really good Washington State team waiting for you in 2 weeks. You got a conference play down the road. How are you looking at these next 2 games in terms of just continuing to improve yourselves and working towards that 30 to 35% here? Because you haven't had a lot. I mean, you've been playing so many hard teams, and not to say you're not taking these teams lightly. They could beat you. I get it. They're Division I games, but in terms of having an opportunity to focus a little more on yourself these next 2 games like you did on Sunday, how nice is that?
Well, the other thing, just time to get some practice from your, on yourself and work on yourself, because you're out on the road. It's game after game. You have to prep. You can't go in blind, and it's always a fine line. You don't want to prep too much because you got to keep working on yourself. But there just really wasn't that much time to be able to do that, and so this gives you, because the games are spaced out a little bit, you get a little bit more, because you also want to keep your team fresh and excited and ready to go, but. It's about us getting to our standards and playing to our standards. And, we're getting closer. We're doing some better things rebounding wise. We're, sharing the ball better. And it was never a selfish thing about sharing the ball. It was just knowing how and when to get the guys the ball at the right time in the right spots.
Coach, as you know, 4 games left before you dive into San Jose State and Mountain West basketball play. What's the one area you want to see this team get better over these next 4 games? Because there's a variety of schedules here. You got small, medium, and large. You got an opportunity to do a lot of things with your basketball team over these next 4 games.
Yeah, I think, a rebounding and, just the cohesion and the feel for each other and some continuity that way. And, I think I'm getting a better feel for who can do what in different situations. And that's important to get that in the off season. There's guys on our bench. I'm starting to understand what their strengths are. And then when I put them in, they're actually doing those things that you think, okay, I'm going to get this, we put Keen in at the end of that first half, and he went and got 2 big offensive rebounds that we got 3s out of. And, that's exactly what Mike said to me right before I put him in. He said, hey, Keen will shake things up. Maybe I'll go get an offensive rebound. He gets an offensive rebound. He puts it right in Max's shooting pocket, and we get a 3. And those are big plays. And so when you reach into your wallet, you know what you're pulling out. Is it instead of like, I don't know, is it a 5? Is it a 20? Is it 100? I don't know. I'm starting to get some consistency of, okay, I'm going to reach in and hopefully I'll get this. And you do get that. So that's when your bench really helps you, when you know what you're going to get when you put a guy in.
And I guess final thing for me, Leon, I mean, you look at, we talked all about your schedule, but you go look and Clemson's 9-0 now. They just beat TCU the other day. You see what some of these other teams on your schedule are doing. St. Mary's, you called it. I mean, you said they're going to go on a huge winning streak here, and they go down to Fort Collins and pick up one of the biggest wins in maybe college basketball this year so far, beating Colorado State there.
Right.
Just what do you take on this league, I guess? We saw some interesting scores. San Diego State's had to pull out a couple lately. But obviously the computer numbers are pretty good for this league, and that's only going to to help your numbers improve as the season goes on with the teams you've already played also winning and doing well. I mean, just what's your big picture take, I guess, on this league and your non-conference schedule and how this all kind of shakes out at this point? It's looking like it's shaping up like you thought it would.
Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, there's going to be anomalies here and there always, because basketball is college kids and there's long seasons and all that kind of thing. So there's those games here and there, but I've been really impressed with what our league's done in the preseason. I mean, it's a crazy, but I'm also impressed, but I'm not that surprised. I mean, when you look at these teams and their coaches and the home courts they have, these guys know what they're doing. I mean, they're good teams, good players, good coaches, like we always say. And so the numbers are going to be great once we get to league too. Those opportunities are terrific. But I do know one thing, this challenging schedule and what we've had to go through is really forced us and exposed things and made us better. And, it's given us a sense of urgency that you want it to. And so it takes a lot of a good, tough-minded team to be able to make it through things like that and come out better on the other side. And, I think we're on our way towards that.
Well, Coach, Sunday against Cal State Fullerton, it's an ugly sweater contest game in the crowd. Any chance you coach Sunday in an ugly sweater?
Well, I saw Coach Izzo do that one time, and there was, he had an intensity to him, and he had this sweater on. I'm like, God, those things don't look very good together. So I don't know. Maybe I could wear it in the pregame and then take it off. But it's hard. It would be hard for me to.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I know. I just can't.
I'm not sure a referee could take you seriously if you're over there in a ho 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 sweater trying to argue a call. But we.
I had a great one on in the commercial I did for our toy drive. You got to see that one.
That'd be perfect.
That's a shout out to my guy Peter Billingsley. The actor in that one of the all-time greatest Christmas movies ever, The Christmas Story. So it was the leg lamp sweater. I think that's Nate's sweater, actually. I got to give it back to him at some point. I don't know.
I guess he's actually coming to Boise to do a screening of that movie I saw, ironically enough. He's going to be coming to Boise at some point here. But, Coach, we appreciate your time. Again, tomorrow night, Northwestern State, 7 o'clock, 2 tickets for $10. You bring an unwrapped toy. You get a $5 ticket. There's going to be giveaways all game if you hit the QR code up there on the video board. So, a lot of reasons to still come out and support this team this week, even if it's maybe not the San Diego States of the world that they're playing this week. But they're 2 big games, chance for the team to improve and play well and play in front of you fans. And again, got a lot of things both on Tuesday and Sunday with the toy drive. And I guess Buster Claus is going to be there. So we'll have Buster wearing a Santa suit on Sunday's game and a lot of other fun things going on. So, Coach, appreciate your time. And I just got to let you know, we only have like 1 week left in football season. So Mike Prater's columns are going to switch to basketball here real soon. So,
well, I think he could take the winter off. I'd be okay with that. I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be, Nate texted me and said, well, game day is not going to be there. So, Prater's going to be there, and I just wanted so bad to just text back, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm busy tomorrow at 9:30 then. Wouldn't that have been great?
I was legitimately worried that might happen, actually, so that would have not surprised me.
That's no better than that.
It's happened to me before, so I can take care of it.
Exactly. I'm glad we have that relationship, no doubt. Live in truth. So
appreciate your time, Coach, and we'll see you tomorrow night, Northwestern State, 7 o'clock. We'll bring those toys and try to pack Extra Mile Arena. We appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you Tuesday.
There he is, Leon Rice, head coach. Again, Tuesday, tomorrow night, Mike, they got some cool stuff they got going on. $5 tickets. So I don't know what would keep you from wanting to come to Extra Mile Arena. $5 ticket. And Mike, 6-3, the basketball team. I know you haven't watched every second of every game yet, but 6-3 and getting some momentum and a chance here for a couple more wins and a chance to end up with a nice non-conference record here. And you've been pretty positive, even when they lost a game or two here. I know you were saying, hey, they're going to be fine, not worried about this. They're going to make it to the tournament. And they've lost to 3 good teams. They have no, quote, bad losses. And it looks like they're shaping up if they can continue to make some of these 30% jumps that Leon is talking about here. They're going to be figure things out and get in fine fashion here for conference play.
Yeah, just keep getting better. And every time that they play, I don't care about the opponents right now. Just keep getting better. And I like the direction that this basketball team is trending. I'll be there tomorrow night. I'll be there on Sunday. And I'm totally dialed into basketball now, and I really appreciate what this basketball team is doing. So that schedule is going to pay off. I know they had some losses. I know they have some rough bumps, and maybe some fans got a little disgruntled, but that schedule is going to pay off. When you play that kind of schedule in November or December, as opposed to doing it for the first time in the middle of March, that's going to help your basketball program, and that's exactly what's happened with this team over the last couple of weeks.
Well, appreciate Coach Rice for coming on. Appreciate you, Mike Prater. You guys have your show meeting. We kept you long today, so I appreciate you. Sorry, JP, but we appreciate you, Mike. And again, you're going to have, Wednesday or Thursday later this week? Do you have any topic ideas yet for the column, or are you going to keep us hanging?
I'm going to keep you hanging for the time being, BJ. I'm going to keep you hanging, which means I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Mike's going to have a column for us later this week, and then obviously something post-game as well. But, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And Idaho Sports Talk 3 to 6 today. You and Johnny, JP, Bob. Unfortunately, you'll have to I don't know if you've seen Johnny yet this morning or not, but a rough weekend for him up there with the Vandals. So I know you gotta be nice to him today. But I'm sure you guys will have all the George Helani news, the quarterback situation, all the sound from this weekend. You'll have it all covered 3 to 6 today.
Absolutely, and all week long, too. So looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun week, BJ.
Bull Week is here. We appreciate Mike Prater. I'm going to hang on for a few more minutes, Mike. We'll say adios to you, and appreciate you for jumping on, and we'll be listening 3 to 6 today. Idaho Sports Talk, Mike Prater, John Mallory, Bob Beeler, JP, the whole crew, and we appreciate them for jumping on today. As you can see, I've got my life-size White Russian here from Cutwater. Make sure you check out Cutwater Spirits. More than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up in your local gas station or grocery store. I saw some comments coming in. I wanted to get to those. Very ironic. There were some comments on here, but yeah, Eric McAllister possibly going to TCU, and now Andy Avalos potentially going to TCU. That's going to be a little awkward, I think. We'll see what happens there if that ends up happening. And somebody mentioned the money. I can't find the quote right now, but it is written in Andy Avalos' contract that any money he makes elsewhere comes off his buyout from Boise State. So that's how much Andy Avalos wanted to get back into coaching this year, that he would have got the exact same amount of money, whether he coached or not. Because just say Boise State was going to pay him $1 million, it's more than that, but just to make the math easy, if Boise State was going to pay him $1 million and TCU is now paying him, $800,000, well, Boise State only has to pay the remaining $200,000 to Andy Avalos. So it's not a buyout like Jimbo Fisher or something where he gets to keep all that money plus get money on top. Whatever comes out of whatever money he makes elsewhere from a school like TCU, that's less money Boise State has to pay him. So Boise State's probably very happy that Andy Avalos is getting a job right away and decided not to take the year off because that allows them to have to lower what they would have to pay him. So very interesting, and we'll see what happens if that ends up happening. Sky says massive financial win for Boise State. Yeah, I mean, that could be but I will say this, I don't know if anybody's seen the money that TCU would pay him. Usually that situation is, that was the deal with Eric Chenander. Eric Chenander was still getting paid by Nebraska, so I think they got him for the first year for way less. Keith Bonifaz was still getting paid by Washington, so I'm pretty sure the first year Boise State had Keith Bonifaz, they only paid him like $100,000. So I would assume that one of the reasons Andy Avalos was appealing to TCU or wherever he goes is because he could take way less than market value because they know that he's still getting paid either way. So if Andy Avalos would normally get, $600,000 for being the DC, maybe they only pay him $250,000, and that allows them to have the money somewhere else because, like I said, Andy Avalos is getting paid the same amount regardless, and he probably wants to take less money from TCU to make Boise State have to pay more. Who knows? So, again, if you missed the early part of the show, there was a statement released to Jay Tust. Kudos to Jay Tust getting this statement from Andy Avalos. I'm not going to read it all again, but he did. A big point is he wanted to wait out of respect for the team to not comment until after the championship. Obviously, his father went on there and made some comments the morning of the championship game, but Andy said that they decided to wait and let this play out before releasing his statement. Also kind of ironic that he reaches out last night to Jay Tust and makes a statement, and then now this morning we find out he's in the mix for some jobs as defensive coordinator. So was going to have to get out there and talk at some point if he takes a new job, and did reach out to Jay, and you have the statement here. Again, wishing Andy the best wherever he ends up. If that's TCU, good luck to him. Obviously, was a heck of a defensive coordinator back in his day. We'll see what his future holds in terms of getting another chance as a head coach. We hear Brian Harsin, and talk about some things he's learned and changed. And if he ever gets another chance, he's ready to make some changes and be different. And we'll see if, Andy has that same, awakening or moment for him that if he gets another chance as a head coach. But there was never any question whether or not Andy Avalos could coach defense. So I think having him at TCU or A&M, wherever he may end up going, is going to be good for that school that gets him. And obviously, congrats for Andy if he lands a job right away, and good luck to him here in the near future. I do want to remind folks tonight, 8 o'clock, if you're a paying subscriber, you get what a treat you get. Brad Bedell, Winston Venable, Kent Riddle, and myself. 8 p.m. tonight, we'll be live together to talk Boise State football, all the coaching news, all the transfer portal news. We'll preview the LA Bowl. We'll take your questions. But again, this is exclusively for paying subscribers of Bronco Nation News. So if you're not a subscriber, jump in now. BNN 50 deal is the promo code. BNN 50 deal is the promo code. And you use that. You pay $50 one-time fee. You get 365 days of coverage. That includes all of Mike Prater's columns, all of my content, and exclusive shows like this. Around noon today, you should get an email if you're a paying subscriber with a private link. Click on it, make sure it takes you to YouTube, make sure it works, and then come back at 8 o'clock and join us. If you cannot watch the show live, the link will work later. The show will be archived to watch on YouTube later, but this is a private, unlisted YouTube link that will only go to paying subscribers. So please do not share this link with others if you're a paying subscriber, but if you're not a paying subscriber, hopefully you'll consider jumping in today so you can watch the show. We're going to go at least 60 minutes, maybe 90 minutes. We'll just see how it goes, and it's going to be a lot of fun to get the opinions of Brad, Winston, and Kent about the Boise State football program, the direction it's headed, and whatever you want to talk about. We have less viewers on this show because it's a subscriber-only show, so more opportunities to take your questions and get those answered. So hopefully you will make plans to join us tonight. There is no ball talk tonight due to a scheduling conflict, and they're going to do that later this week. I believe Wednesday is going to be ball talk, so we jumped in instead with this show tonight, 8 p.m., exclusively for paying subscribers of BNN. And again, you can get our special right now, 1 year for $50 using that promo code BNN50deal. Sign up at BroncoNationNews.com, and we'll send you the link around noon. If you do not get the link, if you sign up today and you're not part of the email list, or for whatever reason it's like 2 or 3 o'clock and you haven't gotten the link yet, check your spam, check your promotional folder. You should be getting the emails most days from us, but if you're not, and you don't have the link by 2 or 3 o'clock, send me an email, rains@BroncoNationNews.com, rains@BroncoNationNews.com if you're a paying subscriber, and I will send you the link to make sure you have it. And again, if you do miss it live, it will be available archived. So check your email, make sure you get that link, and join us for the show tonight. So looks like it is happening according to Brett McMurphy and some of the other folks on there. Looks like, let me go back to the comments here. Brett McMurphy, Andy's the new defensive coordinator. It's confirmed. So, yeah, wow. So good luck. Congrats to Andy Avalos going to TCU as the defensive coordinator, and get a chance to see him try to slow down Jalen Daniels in that Kansas offense next year. Looking forward to that. So, congrats. Good luck to Andy moving forward with him. I have no one ever said he couldn't coach defense. So I suspect he'll do very well in that role. And he's always recruited Texas well and done some things there. So I'm sure that works out for him. And now we'll find out what happens to Eric McAllister. Does he still go to TCU or not, or what happens there? That is very intriguing to potentially have EMAC and Andy Avalos. I mean, there could be a book written about this season someday, and maybe I should write it. We'll see what happens in the game on Saturday, but just all the Fiesta Bowl seasons, all the great seasons, and you just think about what happened this season for Boise State. And if they find a way to beat UCLA on Saturday and win the Mountain West Championship, and then like some side story is Andy Avalos and Eric McAllister both end up at the same school again, when Eric McAllister transferring, in the middle of the season may have been one of the 10 dominoes that led to Andy Avalos being fired. I mean, and some of the comments he made about him, I mean, who knows? But just what a insane. I mean, a lot of you guys have been Boise State fans and followed the team longer than I've followed the team. I've only been here. This is my 11th football season. I was a part of the 2014 Fiesta Bowl, obviously missed the others, but followed those teams and know about those seasons. But I wasn't here to kind of live through the 06 or the 09 seasons. But I just the drama, the things that have happened. I mean, Kareem says this season could be featured on Lifetime Drama one day. Yeah, I mean, just all the things that have happened, all the just craziness with the coaching changes and losing the game on the Hail Mary to Colorado State, and the Memphis game with the blocked kick, and whether or not they were going to go for it or not. And then the game, all the different things that have happened in the games this season, losing the game against UCF on the final play. I mean, just so much. And then to win the Mountain West Championship, to have Spencer Danielson stay on as head coach. I mean, it's just crazy. Hunter says, if you write a book, get a chapter on Lou Major. Oh, Lou Major would definitely be in the mix and be a key element if that were to ever happen. By the way, shout out Bronco Brew Coffee. Make sure you check them out, broncobrew.coffee. Make the switch today. If you drink coffee, which almost all of you do, make the switch and just redirect your coffee dollars. Roasted to order coffee. It's not roasted until you order it. You can sign up for a weekly subscription, and just every Monday or every day you order, once a week, a fresh roasted bag shows up at your door, and it's delicious, great tasting coffee, and it also helps BSU athletics with every sip. And again, they have the QB1 fund on there. You can donate money directly to a large pot where they can give it to a student athlete on an NIL deal. You can also go on there and choose your athlete. Andrew Simpson is on there now. They've got Markel Reed, some other athletes, and you can literally, with one bag of coffee here, give $2 or $3 into the pocket of a BSU student athlete, and that adds up over time. If you talk about a regular weekly subscription, you're talking about $10, $20 a month, and it's over $100 a year. And you add up how many people do that, you can get several $1,000s to some of these athletes. So perfect Christmas present, by the way, whether it's a stocking stuffer, whether it's just a nice present here. These are very affordable, coffee, and it'd be a perfect Christmas gift. So broncobrew.coffee, check it out. And I assure you that you will not be disappointed with that. Lou Major is co-author of the book. Somebody said, when you get the Lou Major interview, I'll pay for a subscription if you get the interview. I mean, he's an employee at Boise State, so unfortunately, you have to get that approved. I can't just call Lou Major and interview him. I will say that I talked to Lou Major at the Utah State game, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be mad that I had reported some of the stuff in terms of the incident that happened with him and Andy, or wasn't sure what the case would be. And I went up and said, "Hey, man, hope we're good. Paul, apologize if you didn't want any of that or whatever." And he looked at me straight, sternly, and said, "No issues on my end." And so you've seen some of the tweets and things that he's put out since. So I think he's kind of embracing this role. And I don't know publicly if he would certainly take any kind of credit or whatever for what happened. I think it was one big domino and a number of dominoes. I don't think that Andy Avalos was solely fired because he fired and got into an argument, a heated argument with Lou Major. But certainly that was, a day or two before he got fired. So that certainly was one of the dominoes that did play into this. Bronco Ray says Andy Avalos will be just fine. Sky says the 2023 season needs a 30 for 30 on ESPN. Certainly there. I mean, again, you think about all the Fiesta Bowl seasons, but you think about this season and what it would mean. And again, it's going to be a very tough game on Saturday. I mean, I know we're all kind of just assuming that they could win this, but it's going to be a tough game. They don't really have the quarterback situation is not figured out. I mean, it's certainly a game that's going to be a tough one to win, and that adds to the story. You go and come back all the way from being 4-5 and having a 0.1% chance. You come back, win the Mountain West Championship, your quarterback transfer. I mean, the season just keeps getting crazier and weirder, and your quarterback transfers, and now all of a sudden you're going to start either a walk-on quarterback or a quarterback that has taken 3 snaps all season and never thrown a pass. I mean, neither quarterback has thrown an actual credited pass in a game. I know Colt Fulton had the 2-point conversion, but that doesn't count as a throw. So, I mean, if all of a sudden all this has happened, and then you add in the fact that you're playing UCLA in LA in an NFL stadium in the LA Bowl on national television on ABC, and you start a quarterback that's never started a game and never thrown a pass in a game, and you beat UCLA to finish with 9 wins, I mean, that would just be the most insane and probable ending to a Boise State season in a long time. And you know what? It's probably going to happen. So I know those coaches are scheming how they can put these quarterbacks in the best position to try to win some battles here and win this game. And we'll see what happens long term with the quarterback position. But certainly big news with Andy Avalos, and we'll be checking it. I'm going to go get off here and look into that and some of the other stuff going on. But appreciate all you guys. It has been an unbelievable year, an unbelievable last month. The interest in BNN has been crazy to see it continue to grow, and we're so appreciative of all you guys and all the drama and things. It's been certainly good for business, and so we've seen record subscriber viewership, record video viewership, and hopefully it's because of the product we're putting out and not just the news itself that's happening. So again, hope you'll join us tonight, 8:00 for our subscriber-only show. If you have any questions, send me an email, but you should get a private link around noon. And if you don't have the email with the private link by 2 or 3 o'clock, send me an email. I'll make sure you get it. 8 o'clock tonight. Join us live, and you can watch it on delay. It'll be archived too. The link will still work later if you can't watch it late or can't watch it live tonight, but won't be as big of a viewership since it's only for subscribers. So it's your chance now to get a question into Kent or any of these former coaches. So we look forward to that tonight. Going to be a lot of fun, as I said, testing out some new equipment, and I think it's going to be a fun show, and looking forward to it. So go subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal is that promo code. BNN 50 deal, $50 for a full year. All Mike Prater's content, all my content, and as I said, you get the link for the private show tonight, subscriber only, talking football and previewing this bowl game. So going to jump off here. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate Leon Rice. Appreciate Mike Prater. Had a fun show today, and looking forward to a fun show tonight. So see you at 8 o'clock tonight. And again, tomorrow morning, Spencer Danielson is talking before practice. So me and Jay Tuss' appearance may be delayed. We'll have to figure out the time tomorrow. So stay tuned on that. We'll let you know on social media because Spencer Danielson's talking before practice, and Jay and I both obviously need to be there for that. So thanks, guys. Again, basketball game tomorrow night. Hope to see you there. Northwestern State, $5 tickets. Perfect opportunity to bring the family. And you can also donate an unwrapped toy that Coach Rice and the players themselves will take and deliver to some kids around the area. So that's cool that they're doing that. So check that out. And check out BroncoNationNews.com. Hopefully you'll subscribe. We got new videos on the YouTube channel, by the way. All the football interviews from over the weekend. George Hilani, Michael Callahan, DJ Schramm, Ashton Genty. All those interviews from the weekend are up on the YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you are watching on YouTube right now, hopefully you'll hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join our YouTube channel as it continues to grow. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, youtube.com/Bronco Nation News, and all of our videos, all of our press conferences, all of our live shows, and the interactions are there in the YouTube chat. That's the easiest and best way that we recommend you watching our shows and our content moving forward. So thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Again, we'll talk to you 8 o'clock tonight with our subscriber-only show. And again, Rains@BroncoNationNews.com is the email if you have any questions. And we'll talk to you guys later. Big bowl week has begun, the LA Bowl. And again, content from Riley Smith, our BNN correspondent, coming all week courtesy of Elman Fencing. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tonight. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com.